discussed, since we didn't know how many would be here, we'd like to offer those that are here the first opportunities to speak on their applications or interests. And that way you don't have, we'd love to see you stay, watch the process, but if you don't want to, you can move on. And I see Russ there, and you won't be first, Russ. Only because the magnitude of, I think, why you're here. But well, maybe some of the others, if there are, everyone will get a fair due. But Paula, you had something you wanted to say about that?
Well, one of the things I want to do is, this has been a very large set of applications, and I want to commend staff on putting together a very helpful set of maps for us as commission members, and a very extensively detailed packet. This has been tremendously helpful in our effort to analyze what's being requested and respond to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Carla and Silas.
Yeah, good. I forgot to do the roll call. Jim Saunders?
Here.
Paul Ruge?
Here.
Sean Jones?
Here.
Bill Crowdy?
Here.
Paula Reeder?
Here,
And I'm Joe Hickman. Okay, is there anyone out there that, any applicant out there would like to speak first or present their application? Or if you would tell us which application it is, we'll take it first, even if you don't want to, we have a packet, we can, you know, but we may have some questions for you. Okay, Mr. Harris? Yeah, that was, gotta find it now. That's out at Still Pond Creek.
Page 4.
page 4 is Mr. Brayton's.
The maps, the red numbers on the
Map,
map.
map 4.
What page is it in our packet?
Maybe.
Looks like
Page
15.
15.
Looks like
15? Which,
Okay.
It's 4, page 15.
oh. I'll use
Red
them.
4.
Red 4 at the top.
Okay, got it. I can see it from there. Okay, the request here is for, from the Harris family. They have AZD, and they would like to change it to either community residential or rural, yeah, community residential. So, you have anything to say to this application, Mr. Harris?
Sir, can you mind sitting so the recorder will get your voice?
Do we need Paula, Cindy, do we need to swear people in?
It's
Okay,
15.
it's just, yeah,
You're
we're
on
just,
19. You got some more pages.
good.
It's 15. 11.
Mr. Harris, would you raise your right hand? Is the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And state your name and address for the record for our tape. Okay, great. What can you tell us about your request?
In '86, I lost my mom again in February. A year or so before I lost Dad. In the end of '86, I was elected as commissioner. And I found that the farm was zoned for rural residential. I couldn't bear to think of it going in that direction. You know, it was in the planning, I asked her to take it out, put it into ag,
Can you speak up, please?
and I asked her to put it into agriculture, which is what she did. Now I'm 90. I farmed that farm for 40 years. It's a tough farm to farm. You can't grow soybeans back to back, but I have for the last 30 years. When you say if you don't get a good crop, you don't lose much.
Yes.
Corn is cheap. We tried it 2 years, and nothing left to go with garden. So, and looking down the road, sisters has a girl and boy, and I got a girl and boy. expiration date comes. In the last 40 years, you go back 40 bushels of cheese acres.
Okay.
That's covers the cost, and that's not a whole lot more. We get a couple bucks, they got it, but it's, mine is right adjacent to it. Water's right up to it, that's right to it. My Park is across the road. The topography is, it really knows the property well. It's hilly, it's sandy,
All right,
it's not
Okay.
a plain farm.
great.
When I was a kid, we farmed it, but we had irrigation, where you go to where you put piece lengths of pipe. And then you can grow something, but you get a good rains in the right time, you do great. If you don't lose it. So, I submitted this application, I don't know how long ago, but probably 6 years or so, 7 years, at the next comprehensive rezoning. Visit it and see what you can do. And that's my request.
Very, very good. Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Harris or comments on this potential change in? And it,
Well, I'm going to make an observation that you've been waiting a long time, Mr. Harris, for an answer, and it's about time we gave you one. My view is, given the proximity of your property to existing residential communities and the situation with farming, which isn't an easy job, I'm going to recommend that we approve this request.
all right, we have a recommendation to,
I have,
we have a second. We have a discussion.
yeah,
A second?
I'll second it just to move it on.
Yeah, okay, and then discussion now. Go ahead.
I do have one in here because it says, what zoning district do you prefer, either CR or RR?
Sorry, where it was, and whatever. Yeah, it sounds good. That's the stuff. Topography just
The CR is,
Do we have a recommendation from staff
There is no RR.
on this?
There's no,
I should point out that rural residential RR is one that is the zoning district that we combined with CR.
yeah,
So
it's a,
so it's just CR?
Same.
it's just
Same.
CR.
Okay.
And that today's CR matches the previous zoning's RR. So it's essentially the same.
Rural residential, that's what we'd be approving,
no,
if we approve this.
community.
Approving community residential.
Community reason, okay.
Which is one
Yeah,
to one.
one to one,
The-
yeah.
The density, the same as the old RR.
Okay.
Any further
Who's on
discussion? I'll
first?
call for a vote. I'm going to take, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll make a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners for that zoning change. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
All right. And please stay if you'd like. I just didn't want you to sit if you didn't want to wait for the whole. Thank you, sir.
Look at the proxy.
Okay. Is there anyone else out here that would like to have their application heard? I'm going to take him first. Kevin, come on up. Can you raise your right hand? Is the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it is.
State your name and address for the record.
Kevin Kimball, 348 Flatland Road, Chestertown, Maryland.
Okay. And if someone found that packet, this is out at,
It's page 61. This is where the map is located. Item 13.
okay. Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, well, everybody knows this parcel of land has been kicked around for a long time. Talked about rezoning, talked about going into Chestertown into an annexation. This is their appropriate time now in this rezoning to to go ahead and, make this thing happen. Go ahead and put the zoning where it belongs. Do you want me to read this letter into record? Because it certainly, is a summary of everything. I mean, everybody can read by themselves.
Yeah, I think we had our packet, but, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I'll skip a little bit. The reclassification to CR exercises the foresight of the county and bordering municipality of Chestertown to buffer and protect the property values of the residents and of Washington College. Focusing residential growth, we all know, allows the best use of fire, police, ambulance, and student busing, to name a few of the benefits. It is the most useful tool to stop sprawl in the designated agriculture areas of Kent County, thus preserving farmland and deterring use of conflicts. Rezoning this land further utilizes the upgraded State Highway Administration Circle intersection, upgraded utilities, new recreation area, new trail system, local businesses, new rural farms, and amenities already in place. This land is recognized by the municipality of Chestertown as medium-duty density residential in their comprehensive planning, future land use outside town limits. We have a map enclosed of that in your packet. This land is also recognized currently by Kent County in their comprehensive planning boundary for residential expansion. Kent County also designated this land in the Kent County Maryland Growth Tier Map. Now, that was one administration ago. In summary, this land is the only parcel that is currently AZD and borders Chestertown. All other lands are either residential or they are protected lands, which is going to box Chestertown in. And since the last comprehensive rezoning of Kent County, Flatland Road area has significantly and undeniably changed towards residential, as all other areas have grown in commercial and industrial, meaning where Gillespie is expanding out that way, or Goodall 213 way. That's, I ask your consideration.
Thank you very much. Anyone have questions for Mr. Kimball?
Well, I'm going to make a comment. I think this is consistent with smart growth principles and certainly fits with both the comprehensive plan and the objectives of Chestertown in terms of future residential growth. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve this request.
I'll second that one. I agree totally.
Any discussion? I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll send a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners.
Thank you very
Thank
much, Joe.
you. Take care. If you would raise your hand if you were willing to, if you want to have your application heard. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, Ross, I'll get to you. I just,
You want me to go next?
yeah, come on. Roy, did you say testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
It is.
And state your name and address for the record.
My name is Roy Hoagland, 9522 Fairley Road, Chestertown, Maryland.
It's hard,
I'm sorry.
some of us old people can't hear.
Can we get a microphone?
Should I speak up?
You just speak up, well, but, yeah, thank you.
Do it again?
No, we just, I just want, we'll
What
make sure
page are
everyone can
we?
hear, and the tape, they can hear.
Okay, we're looking.
Yeah, what is your application, Roy?
An application for property on Route 20, and I was seeking going from commuter residential to village zoning.
Is this on the farm out at Fairleigh?
The Route 25.
I didn't see it in our packet.
That's not in our packet. Well, no, I
It was submitted, it was submitted probably 2 years ago. When I first put those forms in the tax.
we do have it. That is apparently one of the properties that was
Okay.
7 applications in our computer system, didn't forward to us for this meeting. So we're going to, with Chair's permission, we're gonna re-post those 7. They didn't make it in this packet. We're going to send a notice to all the applicants, and we're gonna do it on May 2nd.
So you're gonna have another meeting just like this on May 2nd?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Do them all tonight, but for some reason, the system didn't give us 7 of the applications.
Do you folks acknowledge receiving my application?
Yes.
Okay, so you know,
Sorry about that, Roy, appreciate it.
try again.
You could stay for the entertainment now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
Right.
I apologize, I didn't know you.
Is there any, who else, I've got Russ, anyone else want to speak to their application? Okay, come on forward, Russ.
What are we?
This is application number 12, we have a large-scale pullout.
Russ, do you raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address for the tape. Thank you.
I'm Russ Richardson. I live at 245 Avenue John Road in Earlville, Maryland.
It's close to the one we just did. Just flip a couple more pages.
What can you, well, as I look for the map, what can you tell us about this application?
Yeah, this application is for a 421-acre assemblage of property at the intersection of 301 and Route 291. It lies on both sides of 301, and a bulk piece of it lies between Ridge Road and Millington Road. So it's a very interesting application, and it's a follow-up to the comprehensive plan revision in 2018, where it was recommended that the area be a growth area and that the zoning be mixed-use zoning. I recently found an article in Lincoln Institute of Land Policy, which is a land use think tank group, has some great visionary ideas, where they were supporting the idea of mixed-use zoning. And it's a little unique, and this article was a couple of years ago, but they were just supporting the idea of mixed-use zoning as a flexible zone for the purpose of creating economic development. So that zoning is perfect for this site, as opposed to the traditional zoning you would find in a place like Chestertown, where you want zoning that's very restrictive because you have a lot of very close neighbors and you don't want their properties damaged by what you have. So within a large tract of land, you can create separation between uses that make them compatible and acceptable to one another. I think that's the big change under it. But things are happening already. The word's out about this rezoning, which is in process. And the Maloney property contiguous to us to the east between our lands and the town lands is under contract for a residential developer, who I met with yesterday in an effort to cooperate in development, because you don't want to look at it being competitive and being competitors. You want to look at how can you help one another to make the overall work, not just for yourself, but for the county. Last week I had a call from one of the gas convenience store organizations, and they're looking at the interchange at this point. I don't think they're going to come on our site right now, the way I'm reading things, but they're certainly looking at the interchange. So that's another good thing that's in process. So having opened with those very general statements, I commend the planning department and this planning commission for considering somewhat of a little bit futuristic mixed-use zoning. done. And I'm here to try and answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to ask staff, could you give us a quick overview of how you see it from the staff side on mixed use? When we have applications, if some of these different uses we talked about, how do we evaluate them, I guess, or how does staff evaluate them?
So this is the growth area identified in the comprehensive plan. It's our focus area for growth. There's two of them. One is in Wharton and one is here. And it talks about the idea of flexible uses, et cetera. So Mr. Richardson submitted in the beginning of this process text for creating a zoning district for mixing of uses. That text was actually included by commissioners in the land use ordinance. It takes uses from commercial districts and residential districts and the village district, and it puts it in a chart. So there can be a blending of uses. So literally the mixing of uses comes from existing uses throughout the code. And the idea is that Mr. Richardson is proposing the property that he owns or represents, that new district that was created with mixing uses be applied as, for the growth area in Kent County as designated in our comp plan. And previously, when that growth area was implemented in the comp plan, the zoning put in different zoning districts, the ones we had to represent that growth area. So this is sort of a mixing together and having them be all in that area. So I think that we have been supportive of this throughout the process, and I know that the task force spent a lot of time talking about the concept
Sure.
and what this is about.
Good, thank you. Questions
So,
for Mr. Richardson? Or
We already, no, for Bill and Carla, so we already have the framework in place on a regulatory basis and on a zoning basis to support this request.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've been doing a lot of research and reading on rural economic development, and one of the things that is one of the tenets is that the best land use when you're talking about development is one that affords not only commercial opportunities, but residential opportunities and retail opportunities in combination, so that the people who locate in those communities, both to work and to live, have a quality of life that they wouldn't otherwise have if you had silos, of warehouse or commercial and versus residential versus retail. And this is 400 and some acres, which says to me that if you can create a plan that combines residential, retail, and commercial in a location that we've already slated for development, that creates the best environment for the public and for potential residents as well as potential employers, because it means potential employers can also have people close by the workplace, residents can be close by the workplace, and residents can have access to retail facilities. So I'm going to move that.
I've got a couple more questions.
Sure.
And I know, because this, with the Millington, how's the are they still, annexation is still in the plans for Millington
Eventually, yeah.
eventually?
Yeah, we really think that they don't have the organization to process a project
Right.
of this magnitude. And the approval process should always lie with the county.
Good, that's fine. And because I know when we get the annexation happens, is that the use is, you got to have your zoning in place.
Yeah, we've already, in a sense, we're working with them. For example, there was one piece of land contiguous to Maloney that they said they would really want to be residential. But we're doing that.
Okay.
And this isn't the end of your involvement in this process. As we do each section of this development, we'll be back in here for the approvals for that section. And you will be looking at what's going on next to that and how do all the pieces fit. But simply stated, this is a community we're creating place where people live, they work, and they play. And part of it, the theme of it is really a grand parkway through the middle of it, connecting Howard Johnson Road with the present development in the town. And that parkway includes not just the roadway, it includes bicycle and pedestrian paths, separate from each other. So there's three elements of communication of people, connectivity, rather, from Howard Johnson Road all the way to, into the present town.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions?
I just, Mr. Richardson, the one parcel there on Millington Road, that's under a separate ownership, am I looking at it right?
Actually, this acquisition was made in three separate sections.
But I'm talking about that one, I can just barely see that line.
The north.
On the south side of Millington
south
Small,
side of the road.
small farm,
that
yeah.
small farm, wasn't
Off
she
of
in here
Millington
before
Road.
on something?
You're
Yeah,
talking about
the
what
tent.
used to be the Smith track?
No, Sandra Donnelly.
Donnelly.
Oh, Donnelly.
Yeah, and I just,
Oh,
that's,
yes, okay.
I mean, what did they don't want to be zoned that? I don't know.
That's a little bit of a history story. I was very friendly with her husband, John, and he passed away a few years ago. And she really sees that as a memorial to him. And they come there weekends and celebrate his life, her and her children. She came in here and got some kind of approval
For
some kind of.
glamping or one of those
Camping
tent,
or
tent,
something.
outdoor retreat, yeah.
So, William, I'm not sure what,
Well, I'm just wondering what is her response?
As we were sitting here, Carla noted that the Donnelly property is indicated on it for mixed use. We don't know if she's signed on to that formally with the other 12. If not,
That was
we would
my
just-
only
We would just ask you, we can edit, that map can be edited by our LRK. Does that make sense? So Carla just said, yeah, the Donnelly property is indicated on the map for mixed-use development, but we're not sure that Sandra Donnelly has signed off on it, so we just need to clarify that.
Okay.
there's two sides to this. One is uniformity in zoning. That's the one side of it. And or what she thinks today. All she wants today is that campground. But if I was doing comprehensive land planning, I would blanket the whole area and give it the opportunity to be an integrated development of similarity, I guess is what I'd say. I think she'll regret in a few years saying, well, I just want this campground.
Yeah, okay.
I shouldn't be speaking. for-
Yeah, hey, what's, clarification, Bill?
William, I was just trying to answer your question as best I can.
I'm sure, yeah.
Uh,
That was my only I don't see any problem with, other than,
Without her.
we could make it without her.
Yeah, I think we should, at least to offer.
Make it contingent on
And also,
her
when
acceptance.
we're only making recommendations, the commissioners get it, she may, at that point, write a letter and say, I want it. So,
That was my only
okay,
concern.
I'll entertain a motion if someone would make it with the map delineation.
I move that we accept, and we agree to move this forward with a positive recommendation, subject, with the one caveat that Mrs. Donnelly approve the change
Of her property.
of her property.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll send a favorable recommendation to the county commissioner. Okay. Any other applicants out here would like to speak to their requests or have them heard? Go ahead, Cindy.
Yes.
Which one? Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And name and address for the record.
My name is Cindy Ginther. I live at 20751 Bayside Avenue, Rock Hall, Maryland.
Should be page 22.
Which one are you?
Page 22.
Yes, McKinley does.
Oh, wait a minute. Let us get to it first.
That's fine. So,
Okay.
I am here on behalf of and speaking for Barbara Edwards, who
Okay.
is a longtime friend of mine. But she had asked for my assistance in helping with her request to have her property rezoned. The property is at 22995 McKinleyville Road. The property previously was part of a family marina operation in a number of parcels. That property has, the marina business property has since been sold off out of the family. The property in question at 22995 is actually owned by Barbara and her husband Douglas Edwards, and they are requesting the property is currently zoned marine, and they are requesting that it be rezoned to critical area residential.
Resource Conservation District.
Okay, RCD, sorry, Resource Conservation District.
Okay.
And that should be parcel 106.
Yes, it's parcel 106, map 52. There you go. Why are they making this request? Because at some point in time, the property owners, at some point in time, will intend to sell their property. Zoned marine residential use is not permitted in the marine zoning district. So they are currently in a non-conforming use within on their own property. Therefore, they are requesting the rezoning so that they could be in conformance with the property,
Thank you.
current use.
Good, very good. Anyone have any questions or comments?
Well, on the map that we have, a parcel 106 is partially indicated as being a change and the other part is not. And then parcels 188 and 189 are also. Can we have an explanation of that?
Well, but they're all owned by the same
Same.
family. They're different
They're-
applications, but
they're-
all of them are applying for the same zoning change.
No, they're
There's
not.
some changes.
Right.
So-
Oh, okay. So Carlton Edwards has removed his request.
And
Okay.
he's parcel 188 and parcel 189.
So he wants to retain his marine,
And the current owner of parcel 187 also wants to retain the current marine zone.
okay. So the only change is 106,
Correct.
So
and that's the entire parcel.
Right, so that's the one that is split zoned, and they want all of it to be RCD.
correct.
Okay. All right, that's helpful, thank you.
Because I guess technically it's a non-conforming use then now,
Correct.
since he sold the marine off, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Very good.
They sold the marine, did somebody else buy it? Is it gonna continue, or is it just gonna go away?
Yeah, it's staying a marina.
It's a marina.
It's gonna stay a
There
marina?
is a new marina owner.
Correct.
Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we send a favorable recommendation for, what number is it?
106.
106.
106, parcel 106 from
Marine.
Marine to Resource Conservation District.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Cindy. You got more?
I
More?
do.
I know you do.
I'm sorry, Mr. Varga, yes.
Oh, my. Okay, that's what
That
number?
would be map 28, parcel 160 and 103.
Yeah, let me get to the right.
Okay, and Carl will tell you what those pages are.
That is page 76.
Okay, go ahead, Cindy.
Okay. We don't need to do this. I'm still.
You've sworn enough.
I'm still sworn. I'm sworn enough. Okay, so I am here on behalf of my clients Milton Glazer and Michael Fargo, who have made a request for a rezoning request for their parcels identified as P160, parcel 160, and parcel 103 on map 28. Those parcels are currently zoned agriculture, AZD, and the applicants are requesting those parcels to be rezoned industrial use. Mr. Vargo and Glazer own parcel 161, which is 12 acres adjacent to parcel 160. Parcel 161 is zoned industrial use. It is adjacent to the Wharton Business Park, and they are looking to have their parcels rezoned to industrial to increase the industrial use potential for down those two adjacent parcels on Chinkapin Road.
Very good. Any questions for Cindy?
Have you had any feedback from the owners of parcel 126 and 144 who are zoned village?
I have not.
Have we?
144 is the county, the sewer plant.
They're the county, yes. Across the street is the county.
Talking about 79 maybe.
Yeah,
How about the other ones that are contiguous?
Jimmy
79
Smith's
and-
old house on the bend there.
And 128. None.
No.
Have we asked for a response from those parties?
We have not reached out to property, neighboring property owners to ask for specific endorsements.
We would make the referral one way or the other. I mean, does it make sense to increase the,
It does, in that particular area, I think it does.
I mean, I would say that, I would support that, and the potential, the people that are potentially,
Impacted.
right.
Well,
They still have the opportunity of
I took, guess,
the commissioners meeting.
a few years ago, we took the farm across the road out of, they requested to go out of industrial back into ag, didn't they?
Which one?
Which is shown on this as parcel 31.
Bert Lindauer.
Yeah.
That's the one it is still industrial, they are now requesting.
They're on the next
So we're
page.
taking that out of it, industrial,
Industrial.
making that
And just
ag.
put-
Great.
There you go.
Okay.
A win-win. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we provide a positive recommendation to the commissioners to move these parcels into the requested, what was it, the commercial district?
Map 28.
Industrial.
103,
Industrial.
106.
Close the employment center one.
Second.
Second, any discussion? I'll call a question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Send a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners. While we're on this page, you want to do first?
You wanna do Lindauer?
Might just-
Yeah,
Yeah,
while
I
we're
think
here,
that
it's the next
makes
page,
sense.
so while we're, not that I'll hold up anyone else, but it seems like a.
So just trying to find it.
Yeah. So they want to reverse, they want to go from industrial to ag. I'll entertain a motion.
Well, before we do that, there's a parcel in the middle, 115. Who owns that?
That's
Pond.
Velsicol.
That's Velsicol
That's-
Pond.
yeah. That one we do not, 115 we don't want to change because that is the pond for Velsicol, or whoever they are now.
Eastman.
That's where they pump their,
Yeah.
Yeah.
their stormwater, and they have monitoring wells, and that drains into that pond
Retention pond.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Who owns parcel 32?
32.
Parcel 2, parcel
The
32.
adjacent parcel 32.
Don't know who owns that now, it used to be
We know.
Crew.
It's the Hills, don't they still buy that?
And they're actively farming it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyler's looking right now.
Did this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Crew.
Still Crew.
And how many acres is parcel 31?
46. No, sorry, 72.
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion that we send a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners for Alberta and James Lindauer for their property located at 10263 Wharton Road, map 28, parcel 31, lot 1.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Second. Call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we do that. Is there anyone else out here would like to speak to their application or haven't heard, if you just want to hear it? Okay, guess we'll, where you go?
Back to the
Back
beginning.
page, back to page one. Tell us where to start, Carla, please, or Bill,
Page 1.
okay?
Is that the Brayton application?
At the beginning, that's, what movie was that? Yeah,
The Brayton
That is the
application?
Brayton application.
okay, this is, Hopewell Corner. This is-
So there are two, on this map,
Wesley.
there are two requests. One is Alden Yetman, which is also owned as,
Chefstown Builders or something?
no, it's Wesley Brewer Properties LLC.
Okay.
That is currently a split zoned property, and he is requesting that it all be zoned in Tents Village.
Well, are we doing Brayton first?
We can.
Just do them in order.
Well, one is
Okay.
Wesley Breweries.
I think one is both.
The Brayton is listed first.
Yeah.
You're correct.
And he's looking for 97, right?
Parcel 76 and parcel 97, we have two parcels, currently zoned in Tents Village. And he had requested that it be rezoned commercial.
Who's handling this for him now? Do we know? I mean, does
I
the,
don't know that we received a response from our mailing.
I mean, maybe whoever is in charge doesn't want it changed. I don't know. You know,
I haven't
that's-
talked to Robin lately, but
No.
Well, if he requested it,
he
then
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He has passed away.
he passed away.
I guess he can't speak for himself, can he?
He was my best.
Do we need to defer action on this until we can confirm with his survivors what they want to do?
I mean, they were sent a letter we sent letters to the current mailing address.
I sent emails to the current email address.
Oh, okay, I thought we did send
I
letters.
only sent letters to folks who didn't have email addresses.
So, we may not have
Yeah.
properly contacted the family.
Well, since we're having maybe we ought to hold that one.
Let's table
I
this
think
one.
we ought to
Find
table
this
it,
one to
yes,
the May
yes.
2nd meeting.
Because that's a pretty critical, whatever we do there is important for not only the county, but the town too.
Agreed.
We don't want to upset the people in Crestview, certainly.
Well, they ought to have an opportunity to say what they want.
Do you have any suggestions to whom we should?
I'll get you Robin's,
Thank you.
his wife.
Well, it's a limited partnership, so there should be.
It should be the personal representative,
But it's in an entity.
he's the managing member of it.
Yeah, well, I can call Robin if you, but I'll give you the contact.
We can close that loop, thank you.
So do we need to, should we do Alden's out? Yetman's, I guess, might as well. Okay, we'll do Wesley,
We can just move this to May 2nd.
the whole thing?
No, Brayton.
Right, yeah, right. Okay, Yetman now.
which is listed as, I guess we just have his map. We didn't get his number. Again, this is a split zone property, and he has been waiting many years for it to be rezoned.
Why do you think it was split like that? Just, there wasn't a, was there,
It was, he did an adjustment of lot lines.
oh,
He
okay.
needed additional land to be able to put the septic system.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, so he
That's
bought
why
some
the-
ag land.
That's why
he bought some
property.
ag land,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the corner was always in Tense Village, and he bought additional land so that he could put up his business.
So he wants it to be what now?
Commercial.
In Tense Village, he's
Tense
happy with
Village.
Oh,
the
he-
zoning, he just wants it all to be the same.
Oh, okay, whatever.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Put that in the form of a motion?
When you
Yes.
say he just wants the property to be the same, you're just dealing with his property, you say all being the same, but,
Correct, he wants his parcel to all be in Tense Village.
all, okay.
instead
What
of
is the
split zone.
address of that one, Carl?
It's on, it keeps paging it. There's a plat, the Scott, Mike
There's a
Scott
plat
plat.
that's
Yeah, but
page
there's no
9.
address. I move that Mr. Yetman's property be consistently zoned in Tense Village as he's requested.
It's map 37, parcel 97,
Correct.
for reference. I have a motion, a second?
I'll second it.
No, his map 37, parcel 38.
38. Wait a minute, what? Oh, that's, yeah, okay, never mind.
listed under Wesley Brewer
Correct.
properties.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody keeps calling them by different names. You had to know these people before, see? So I'm like, I don't, that's not what's on my
Who's who?
paper.
Do we have a vote?
We have enough, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Take care, Mr. Chairman.
Well, this is getting close to your house, Sean. You'll know some of these names.
On which? We're on 3?
What's the next one,
Three,
staff?
yes.
Number
Page-
2.
Map 2, page
2.
10,
Did I miss?
Olga Brooks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know this one.
And Ms. Brooks is requesting that her parcel be rezoned as ACD. It is 1.738 acres.
Kind of would just be a little knob of ag across the road.
And it's inconsistent with ag requirements as well.
I
You need X amount of acres for ag, so.
I would have to.
Specified a number of times
Yes.
before this body, and
Yes.
that she has, active business concerns in agricultural pursuits. So I think that's why she's looking for AZB, is to sort of support what she's doing on the property. And I don't know, this Brooks here.
No.
But I think, Bill and Paula, it's, the neighbors want AZD next to them. They have residential uses there.
I didn't have a few that I have a problem with, and look, I like the lady, but it doesn't make any sense to me to stick that right over there.
I think
to
you really
accommodate
open
a
a
use.
kind of a procedural or a
Right.
precedent problem. You start, there's another one in here, I think in Colchester, it's got like commercial right in the
I
residential.
just think, for her uses, maybe she just has to ask for a special exception or something down the road, if that's even possible, but,
Given the size of the property, I'm not sure that
What uses could she have?
there's additional uses that she can have. I think it's more of the concept of being zoned ag for what she does, fits who she is and how she uses her property. But the change doesn't necessarily open her up to additional action.
Certainly doesn't for anything pertaining to livestock or anything like that, because she doesn't have enough acres. So, yeah, it's
Right.
kind of,
I just,
it's kind of almost irrelevant.
yeah, I don't see that one.
But it is you got employment center around it, village right next to it. Doesn't make good sense.
And it's,
You got a motion, Bill?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we send an unfavorable recommendation to the county commissioners for the lands of Olga Brooks at 12209 Galena Road, indicated as parcel 16 on map 16.
Have a second?
Second.
Second. This is an unfavorable recommendation. All in favor of sending an unfavorable recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will send that to the commissioners.
Next one is number 3 on map 13.
That's what I've got. What's this one is?
Yep.
This is- What do they want? I can't.
This is a request that we weren't entirely sure, other than I believe the property owner wanted a zoning district that would allow them to subdivide the lot into 2 pieces.
Carla, I think you'll notice that it came through this office, but we adjusted that line, so she accomplished basically what she wanted to do.
Did she?
Well, she added a significant part of it, and I believe what's left may be too small to subdivide now anyhow, even under the village.
Well, I mean, it's also in the critical area as a limited development area, and the critical area residential is really the only logical zoning district that we have. There's, unfortunately, there aren't many options to do.
Yeah, I think she had just come into the office and wanted to subdivide it and found out she couldn't, but same old thing, you can request a zoning change. But I don't see that one either myself.
We have a motion from Bill, second. Unfavorable recommendation.
second it.
Second. Any discussion?
We don't know what the request is, so
Well, she wanted to.
Well,
No,
we're declining the request for a subdividable lot.
Well, she,
Preferred zone.
Really
But
don't know.
in conversations with her and talking with her, like I said, I think that she was struggling with the fact that she had a larger lot than she wanted. She wanted to be able to create 2 lots out of it, and so was looking for a zoning district that would allow her to do that.
it was, like I say, just a couple years ago. This was probably 3 or 4 years that she did that.
It's September of 2020.
Yeah, so it's almost, that's been accomplished by adding land to her neighbor.
So this could kind of just sunset and
well, I guess you could do an unfavorable recommendation to make any change.
Yeah, I think that's, and if she gets revisited.
On a motion to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we send an unfavorable recommendation to the county commissioners for a zoning change on the lands of Diane Lee Carey and Sandra A. Ely at 5174 Skinner's Neck Road, indicated as parcel 105 on map 51.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Second, I'll call, any discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
You're buzzy.
And we acted on the
Yeah.
next one.
So we're on page 18, map number 5. And these are just a couple of property owners who wanted to make sure we knew that they did not want any changes to their zoning.
I think we need a motion there. Just acknowledge the fact that we,
Yep, make a
We
motion
just
on 'em.
acknowledge receipt.
Well, I'll make a motion that we send a recommendation to the county commissioners for no change on the lands of John Tellis Senior at 13981 Mill Creek Lane, map 7, parcel 339. And a recommendation that we make no change to Leon and Joanne Herlock at 31797 Glen Road, map 7, parcels 294 and 296.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
page 36, map 8. John Graziani.
What about Mr. Gould's?
I'm sorry.
Page 34.
Yep. Mr. Gould has 10 acres, and I spoke with him when he completed this form. And he is interested in having a zoning district that would allow him to subdivide the property.
So rural conservation doesn't do
Rural
that?
character does not do that. Rural character has a density of 1 dwelling per 20 acres. So his preferred zoning at the time was rural residential because we hadn't made the decision to do the combination of the two districts, which would now be, if the rezoning is recommended for approval, would be to be community residential.
CR. Okay. Well, his property's contiguous to residential properties that are smaller in scale. What would he be permitted to do in terms of subdivision in CR?
CR is 1 dwelling per acre.
And he has 10 acres,
has
so he
10
could
acres.
subdivide it into 10
If he wants to
Theoretically.
put in a
theoretically.
Yeah,
public road and
yeah.
go through lots of other,
Yields will probably not be,
would not.
no.
Well, it's compatible with that neighbor right there.
It certainly is, yeah.
You want to put that in the form of a motion, Paul?
I move that we approve Mr. Gould's application to change the zoning on his property to community residential as requested.
Am I reading that wrong? I thought the request was AZD. I'm sorry, wrong page.
We have a second? Did we get a second already? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Chair?
Yep. Paul,
Paul, thank you.
I second.
read the tape.
Now we're up to Mr. Graziano. Graziani? Who is currently zoned, community residential, and listed on his form that the preferred zoning district is agriculture. He is parcel 169, which sits in the middle of one of our rural villages.
Which is basically what we just said no on a few minutes ago.
That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
I'd like I agree, the precedent we set, this is not compatible with that neighborhood.
I'll make a motion, we send an unfavorable recommendation for the zoning change on John Graziani on map 52, parcel 169.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Bill, there are a couple people online, would they wish to speak to an application? Hearing none, I guess, go ahead, sorry.
We're on Haven Emporium. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 parcels. 2 of them are entirely zoned as critical area residential, and 2 of them have split zoning between critical area residential and marine.
And what was the other one called?
Marine.
Marine.
They want the parcels that they own to all be marine. It would leave a couple of parcels sandwiched between the Marine District, that would be critical area residential. But I believe that they have demolished the houses that were on these parcels and are looking to use them for marine use.
Do they own all of them?
This is one of the first applications that came in, one of the first things properties I visited when I joined the team here. And, you know, they've acquired these properties with the goal to be able to expand the marina, so.
What about the 139 and 24? They current residential uses?
Yes. I believe there are houses on those two.
Have we heard from the people that live there? And the only reason I'm asking, I mean, it doesn't make sense to not change all that area to the same thing.
Well, the only thing is, if you change them to marine, you end up in the same boat that Doug Edwards was in, where he's got a residence with no marine use on that property, and would make him a non-conforming.
Yeah, but we couldn't do that anyway, could we? Make a non-conformity out of a conforming property now?
Sure.
Yeah, you can recommend whatever you wish. That does
What,
happen.
but, okay.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
they don't own these.
it's not usually recommended.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seemed me, I wouldn't
Or this one, this little one here.
recommend
Or that
I would not recommend we change someone's, make a non-conformity out of something that's already conforming. Now, there's a question here to me, without knowing, I know it down there a little bit, but that the two that are closest to the marina may make sense, but maybe not the other. I mean, that's a thought.
Well, that would be the other direction. It just,
I agree with that, Joe.
When you look at, if you're coming up, Green Lane, the main entrance to the marina goes through that first parcel there.
Yeah.
Parcel 69, I believe, right?
Yeah, part of 69, it goes through that.
Parcel 23, somewhere in
Yeah,
there, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's used as that part's used as a marina anyhow,
69 is.
69 in this little piece.
Conceptually, it's a road. Oh, is someone online?
This is Tyler Gibson with Haven Harbor. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
We can.
I'm glad you're online, Mr. Gibson, thank you.
Can you speak to
Absolutely.
this?
Sorry, I was having some trouble with my phone. Yes, absolutely. So the 4 parcels in question are currently and have been used since they were since even before we purchased them as for marina purposes. So we purchased the marinas out of bankruptcy from Sailing Emporium, and back then those parcels were used for these purposes, and after we purchased them, we have continued to use them in a similar fashion. They all abut the main marina, our main marina parcel, and have. All we're really looking for is to continue to use them for the current use that has been since the 80s.
Have you talked to your neighbors there on what we see as parcel 139 and parcel 24?
Yes, we have. We haven't had anything but support from them.
Are they permanent residents, or I'm curious, not that it is.
I think they're tenants.
I believe actually one may have just recently traded. I think that one of the parcels may have, but yes, the ones that we had spoken to were in favor. We're fine with us using them.
Okay. Mr. Green, can you state your name and address for the record? I forgot to do after the fact swearing you in. So.
Oh yeah, Tyler Gibson.
Gibson, I'm sorry.
Yep. 131 17th Street Southeast, Washington, D.C.
Good. And the testimony, you affirm the testimony you gave is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Gibson, what we're looking at is 141 and 142. They have marina uses on them now, and that where you have all your storage of boat racks and so forth?
That's correct. These lots have been used, you know, as for the marina purposes, for our operations, for the sailing emporium operations, and even before the sailing emporium operations. You know, all of these lots have had the same use for the past, you know, 20, 30 years. And so all we're trying to do is correct the current zoning to reflect what, you know, what has been for decades now.
Question for you. These people have, before even they own the property, these lots, and I'm not sure I can figure out what lot we're talking about. We know definitely 69, and whatever the rest is, what's the rest of that gridded lot that's not 138?
That is part of parcel 23.
23, yeah.
That's part, so that's a dual zone
Correct.
parcel.
Yes. And parcel 23 is the main marina parcel.
Got it, okay. So, but we don't know, let me ask you a different question. If they've been using this forever for this use, is there any reason why they couldn't continue without rezoning?
Well, I think they would have to go through a process.
Our intention is to further improve the facilities there and ensure the continued growth of our business, which, you know, we believe is in the best interest of both the town and the county, the town surrounding it and the county itself. And we believe that it's a integral part of our business in order to continue to be able to operate the way we need to, and then further improve the lots that we purchased.
I understand that, Mr. Graham, and I don't necessarily disagree, but my question was a different one. You are using these properties.
There is an issue with them using them as marine zone or marine use properties because they are currently a limited development area of the critical area, which does not allow for intense use of the property. It's limited to, depending on the size, roughly 15% lot coverage, whereas if it is recommended for rezoning, we would then seek to have growth allocation granted, making it an intense development area, which would allow their use of the property to be much easier.
But we don't have any input from the property owners of parcel 138, 24, and 139, is that correct?
We don't request or require input from neighboring properties.
Okay, but we don't know, in other words, we don't know what their view on rezoning.
We don't, but typically that's not part of the approval process. I would like to say that I think perceptually, at least as I recall it, sometimes one goes down Green Lane and it's a, you know, quiet street.
I know,
The end
I
of the
know.
street is a marina. I don't think that this particular change of zoning is going to change that perception of the property. Maybe someone's been more recently.
I'm going to make a motion that they can, the neighbors can come in if they want during the commissioners meeting, but it's being used right now as a marina. It's been used since Mr. Willis had it, probably for 30 years. I don't think that the people that own parcel 139 are going to see any difference, probably going to see an improvement. Mr. Brawner's improved everything he's ever done. So I'll make a motion, we send a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners for the zoning change from critical area residential to marina for Haven Harbor Emporium LLC at 21090, 21100, 21140, and 21148 Green Lane on map 50, parcels 23, 69, 141, and 142.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Let me, because we had some debate, Jim Saunders, yay or nay? Yes or no? Yes?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Paula?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, and I'll vote with majority. So, thank you, Mr. Gibson. We'll send a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners.
We appreciate your support and thank you very much.
Bill Ingersoll. Is that the next one?
Yeah.
Is it Ingersoll?
Next one should be page 48, map 10, Bill Ingersoll.
Did we get any,
I don't think we got additional feedback from him.
How many acres is this property?
It is 1.75.
What would be accomplished in changing this zone?
Nothing. And I would like to point out that I believe at this point, just about everything that is surrounding him is now under easement.
well, maybe then that makes sense for him to be able to have rural residential.
Well,
If he
can't
wants to
subdivide it.
I understand that, but he may want to distinguish his property from agricultural for valuation purposes or whatever. Is he taxed agriculturally or no?
No, it's a residential lot. No matter how it's zoned, the tax isn't going to change.
So why should it make a difference to us as to whether this 1.75 acre lot is ag or,
Well, because it's surrounded by
Residential.
ag. That's really, I mean, I don't want, he can, if it perks, which I wonder if it would be a miracle. Miracle
oh,
perks, but
presumably it does. He lives on it.
I would think we'd leave it the same.
I would
so.
do.
I would agree. I mean, just to be consistent,
Yeah.
you're completely surrounded
Well,
by
he
ag
doesn't-
ground. There's no advantage
He
to him
doesn't live on this
rezoning
parcel. There's no houses on
Yes,
that.
it is. He lives right there.
Oh,
That's
he
right
lives up
there.
farther up. Oh, going the other way, okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm backwards. Yeah, I don't, I'd leave it alone personally. I'll take a motion, entertain a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion, we send an unfavorable recommendation for the zoning change of William and Susan Ingersoll located at 24871 Old Town Road, parcel 44 on map 53, for their request to change from AZD to rural residential, which would now be, what is CR now?
Yeah, it just remains,
Just remain the same.
we have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? So we have a unfavorable recommendation to the commissioners for this change. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, we entertain all on, so, and I'll vote with the majority. Thank you. Just of clarification, we didn't talk about time, as far as the staff, you got a lot to do, and this, I don't know how long we want to go. It's up to, I don't know if there are any thoughts on.
Really up to you all. You can certainly-
We're moving through pretty quickly.
I know, I just want to make sure I would say we do a hard stop by 8 anyway,
Suits me.
That sounds good.
all right, thank
I
you.
just recommend not using the clock.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's already 4:15.
I mean, I
Maybe
guess
7:30.
one question would be, if we've got people who don't want their zoning to be changed, do you want to skip over those?
No, just do it.
Well, why don't we address them?
We can just
Do you
move
have-
right
do you-
through them. I mean, it's
Right.
just
Do
like
you have
bing,
which
bing,
ones
bing.
they are, Carla?
I do have a table that I believe has notes, or it's also listed on the
Can
map.
we just do a consent, Cindy, with those? Unless people want,
I mean, there's no recommendation to move forward because they aren't
Right.
they
Can
aren't
we just do
recommending
a
anything. I
consent
think
with-
no action is appropriate.
People who have asked for no change,
Right, the yes or no change, no change.
a blanket.
yeah, so we put them all the,
Well, effectively you'd be agreeing with keeping it the same, so.
Okay, everybody that requested no change, so.
Yeah, so we'll entertain a motion that we do a consent approval, a favorable recommendation not to change the zoning of people that requested not to have zoning changes.
Well,
So moved.
let's let Carla, I'd rather have Carla give us a list, and the list will be.
As we work down.
Let's just
I
go
will mark
through
them, And,
just pass them by.
and then I can
Oh,
let you know.
then we'll,
all of
okay,
them,
we'll,
yeah.
once we go by them, we'll vote on them at when we finish. Okay, go ahead.
So, the next one is a no change.
So the motion that was meant to be made is not being made?
No, not now.
Okay.
We're still in discussion, I guess.
This one we go by.
So we're going by that.
What, Joan Horsey's?
All them want
All, they wanted no
They
change.
they want no change. Charles Jones, map 12B is a no change. So we're up to, map 13, Billy Norris. Page 61.
Page 61. 61. She's given the red map numbers are in the top corner. 61's your page number.
Just to clarify, when we get to the end of the meeting, are you gonna make a single motion?
Yes.
Yes.
For all the no changes?
Yeah, and just when we go by them, we'll note them.
I'm marking them down
Thank you.
so we know which ones they are. Billy Norris is requesting to go from rural character to community residential. He's the large striped property that is just south of Kevin Kimball and just west of Orchard Hill.
And it's all contiguous with the residential development, correct?
Correct.
Makes sense to me.
Can you make a motion? or-
I move that we send a favorable recommendation to the commissioners on William and Ann Norris's application to change the zoning on their property at 24904 Chestertown Road, map 37, parcel 12, lot 1, from rural character to community residential.
One second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
And also on that page,
Oh,
towards the bottom, it's hard to see because it's blue striping over the dark green.
Oh.
Parcel 313, that's one where we weren't entirely sure what they were requesting.
Who is that? Is that also Norris?
That is Joyce Rogers.
We don't have,
It's right down there.
no, I know that, but I
yeah,
don't.
what's next?
So
Oh, okay.
her completed form is pages 62 and 63.
Got it.
Where it's noted, current zoning is rural character, and what's written down is commercial residential. And I don't believe that this person responded to our request for additional information. So we can always defer that if you want.
Yeah, I would just defer.
Let's defer it.
There's nothing there, that's just a big
Field,
field.
empty field, that was Joe Gazzo's still.
I think so.
That wasn't even tilled last.
Okay.
Deferring that one.
Yeah.
There it is.
Moving on, page 72. This is Kinlaw Security Group. I believe it is a 4,000 square foot property in Tulchester, and the request is for commercial.
Is there,
They did submit follow-up correspondence that follows their original
Okay.
correspondence, which must be the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, April 2024, so they have been recently in touch.
is there any adjacent commercial property there?
The only other is down at the corner of Tulchester Beach Road, which I believe years ago had some sort of bar or convenience store, something on it. It now has a, that's your.
Is it a community
that's Roy.
center?
Is that your property? Isn't it?
Not the one you're discussing.
No, I
No,
meant
but
it's
the
the other
one
one.
that's still zoned commercial.
Yes, also is commercial currently. I think that.
It's going to, all the crossroad commercials will become commercial when the map is adopted, if it's adopted in that manner. That's the recommendation. It remains commercial, it just is merged with commercial.
You know, I'd just say this is just the same as we've had with the other ones, with
I agree.
sticking our finger out there on one little lot that zoned for commercial. I mean, by Roy's, you know, you want to open up a business or something, you know, it's just,
We got it's residential, water and sewer there, or sewer.
well, I don't know they got any sewer
Yeah,
allegations
well,
left, but
but I mean, my point is, it's already established neighborhood. You got a motion, Bill?
I make a motion, we send an unfavorable recommendation to county commissioners for the zoning change from critical area residential to commercial for Kerwin Security Group LLC, map 35A, parcel 249.
Second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next couple, we did the next two, then the two after that are not changes, so we're down to, page 89.
Sean's territory now.
Somebody was requesting that the corner of their property that is currently zoned on the employment center be rezoned as ACD. I know you were asking the other day, one of the parcels, it's approximately 3.5 acres of employment center, and then on the other, it's approximately 18.5 acres that would be coming out.
Can you explain that? Are we looking at the map on page 89?
There's a white striped square that the owners would like to take out of employment center. They are interested in doing an adjustment of lot lines and then putting the pieces into ag preservation.
And what's the one up top that's striped? They would put that in employment center?
That is,
That's a-
yeah, that's,
That's a different request,
it's a different
independent
request,
of
we haven't
this
gotten
one.
down to that one yet.
It's next.
Okay, so the bottom piece, the lower piece is the one they want to take out?
So they want to take, the property line is this jagged, weird thing. And there's a little tiny area on one parcel that is employment center, right in here. And then the rest of the employment center that's on the larger piece, altogether it's about 22 acres.
And they own the whole thing?
Both parcels are split zoned with a
Yes.
minority part in employment center.
Correct.
And the majority part of both parcels is currently in AZD.
Okay. And this is Massey Properties?
Correct.
Well,
Massey
Massey
Properties LLC. It's a group of gentlemen that went together. Ultimately, they're gonna subdivide the property off. But when it got sold, the guy wanted to sell lot, stock and barrel, and he did. And he found somebody to go together and buy it, so.
I thought Carlos said they want to put it all
They
in
wanna put it in
preservation.
They do. They're going to put it in ag land preservation. After they get it in ag land preservation, they're going to, well, probably prior to putting it in farmland preservation, they'll do a lot line adjustment, because this guy's gonna farm here, another guy's gonna farm here.
So
The owners aren't gonna
There's
stay
There's
together.
a 50-acre piece that sits here in the center.
Got it.
Was part of a lot line adjustment years ago, and sort of the rest of it around it is actually part of the farm that's across the road.
Across the street.
They want to put it back the way it was. So one farm is on one east side of the road, one farm is on the west side of the road. And then, yes, you're correct, that some of the owners that are in Massey Properties LLC want to split that ownership and.
They want to get out of the partnership, in other words.
The partnership was required to sell the property as a whole.
Right.
Any individual couldn't have come up with the money, was
Got
what it
it.
came down
Okay,
to.
okay, I get it.
And this isn't the first time that this group of partners has they're long-term friends, so, at least some of them are.
Okay.
But, yeah, part of that parcel is
Yeah, it's,
15, which is across
yeah.
the road on the other side, up, you
Correct.
know, it's,
Crazy.
It is crazy.
What is it, what community is this in? It's Galena Road, but
It's
is it
just south of-
outside of Massey.
So,
outside of Massey?
if you're looking at this map of Massey, this striped area here is this striped area at the top of this map. If we were to kind of stack these together,
Okay,
you can see where you are in proximity to Massey.
got it, okay, thank you.
It's quite a bit outside of Massey, but not quite to Millington. I mean, it may not be halfway in the middle, but it's probably slightly close, maybe a third of the way between Millington and Massey.
I'll make a recommendation, we send a favorable, I'll make a motion that we send a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners for the rezoning of Massey Properties LLC located at 11538 Galena Road, designated as parcel 7 and parcel 15 on map 24.
No, wait a minute, 15's something different, isn't it?
There's two parcels. That block that we're talking about is two separate parcels.
Yeah.
Right, but parcel 15 is the upper one, right?
I mean, they're both
Parcel
part of,
15 is the one that surrounds parcel 7.
Here's parcel 15.
Okay.
This is parcel
And
7.
15's also on the other side of the road, but most of 15 is already an AZD. We're not changing that. Just the little teeny bit of it that's up there, that's an employment center.
I got a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to add some Ys to this, like WHY, apostrophe S. So the maps that you see, Tyler created a master map that shows all of the changes together, as you see with the big map. And so the individual maps are little snippets. So sometimes if there's properties close together, you'll see two things on one map. So these are like snapshots from the bigger map.
So that got
That's why-
confusing.
That's why you're seeing multiple properties
Yeah.
on the map.
That's-
The other thing that I found very interesting about sort of, so why is this configuration of employment center the way it is? Carl explained that if you go to the tax map, there's grids on the tax map. And when this was originally zoned all those years ago, they followed a tax map grid line, straight up. So it goes right to the middle of properties, cuts things off, but it was just a way of, picking a boundary and sort of making a swath of the zoning district. So when folks come, there needs to be little adjustments, because the zoning district wasn't based on property lines. It was based on sort of a division line on a big map. So
Thank you.
that helped me understand the why of, why are people asking for this? It makes sense to me now. Thanks.
Thank you.
And we're moving on to page 97, because the next one is a no change.
What about 95?
That's a no change.
That's a no change.
He's in employment center and wants to stay.
Yep.
That was close to me too.
97.
It helps when you know it.
Yeah.
Tyler, is this one that had changed hands?
This Brian.
Yeah, it was
No,
sold,
not-
It was
Brian owned it and he sold it to
Yeah.
Phillips.
Oh,
Right.
right.
It's always been used as industrial property.
It has, and that is how, the form that was filled out isn't exactly clear, but I do know that the current owner is still interested in kind of a more industrial type use that doesn't fit village very well. And you're right, it is a property that for years has been used in a more industrial way.
What's
And
on,
it's-
what's
and
on it now, do we know?
Trucks.
Yeah, trucks.
Yeah.
It's the old Southern States outside of Kennedyville.
Oh, okay,
So-
yeah.
And I think Willard's had some stuff back behind there too. So, I mean, it's boxed in with the railroad and Kennedyville Road.
Right,
And
I
it
know
is a-
exactly where it
It is
is.
across the street from additional employment center, so
So which one do we choose? Employment centers?
I think his preference was employment center, based on the discussions with the current owner of how they would like to use it.
It probably would fit with what they have.
What they do, how they use it, yeah.
And take a motion, Bill?
I make a motion that we send a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners to change the zoning from village to employment center for Phillips Station LLC located at 12047 Kennedyville Road, indicated as map 1, parcel 158 on map 21.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next couple are no changes. We're moving down to Jimmy Smith, page 106. He is currently zoned rural character, and the preferred zoning was ag, in parentheses, or quotations, not residential.
I don't see any reason to make a change. This is typical zoning.
Yeah, for once I have to agree with you, Paul.
Whoa!
You know, you would just, it's just a swipe up through there or
Right,
something. It's
right.
really not going to change anything.
And it's close to, community residential properties, and it's typical to put the two in proximity to one another.
I just think it should stay the same.
Okay, entertain a motion to,
I make a motion that we send an unfavorable recommendation to the county commissioners for the zoning change on James and Elizabeth Smith,
They're saying don't change.
indicated as parcel 68, parcel 144, parcel 187, parcel 330, and the empty parcel
Whatever that is.
on map 44.
Second.
second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I missed your second.
Pick something.
I seconded.
Yeah, yeah, she did, there you go. I knew it happened, I think.
Goals.
Lost up there,
This is the Sweetman's.
double tap.
Most of these were, keep the zoning the same, except for parcel 125, which is a tiny sliver that sits on sort of the southeast side of the railroad tracks, which they would like to have changed to commercial.
That little tiny stuff.
Little teeny piece here,
Teeny,
okay.
tiny.
How big is that property?
I couldn't even find it.
Are they asking for a change? They do want 125 changed, right?
Correct,
Yes.
yes.
Who's in parcel 11?
From village to commercial,
From village to commercial.
which would make it contiguous to the remaining commercial properties on the other side of the tracks.
On the other side of the tracks, but
Kind
then
of, yeah.
parcel 11 sits there in village, which would be right next to it. I mean, you're just going to have an extremely small commercial property. I don't know as it makes an awful lot of sense unless Double Tap needs some parking.
Well, it's right alongside a railroad.
Well, I know.
That
Well,
helps.
how
What would
big
you-
is that? Do we know how big 125
What would
is?
you do with it?
Well, there was
You could
there
put
was
a
a business
convenience
on it at
store.
one time. There was a
Is that property that
business
big? That's what
today. I mean, it's, their building's still there, but the,
Yeah, I don't think there's much of anything there now.
But you need need everything we just went through with that.
And most of these parcels up here have a really hard time parking.
Yeah, it's,
It's very wet.
Let them go for it.
Make a recommendation, someone?
I move that we approve the Georgia Sweetman's request to rezone parcel 125, map 17, from village to commercial.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna say nay.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying no.
Okay, so we have, it's Jim Saunders, Sean, myself, and Paula are ayes for the favorable.
Well, that was just on parcel 125.
But they didn't request any other change.
Change.
Yeah,
They're
that-
already
the other parcels are
commercial.
already commercial.
All right. I was just wondering why you had stripes to them then.
Are you okay with, I mean,
Yeah.
you're okay? Okay, thank you.
The next one on page 111, that is something that staff put forward, and we're going to request that that be deferred until the next meeting.
Okay.
Now we're on page 112.
What are they,
They are currently zoned AZD, and they are requesting to be rezoned as community residential.
That's right out there by Mr. Rudnick's subdivision,
Subdivision, yeah.
across from Turner's Unlimited.
That's the whole
It's up above,
that's the whole
Phil Dougherty's
subdivision.
Farm below it there.
Yeah.
And Scott's across the road, Scott Mays.
I don't see any
No,
reason.
no
to
sewer and
down.
water that go out there.
Yeah,
And
we already have
they're
a
looking for
community-
one-to-one.
This is one of the county's big mistakes in that, not the development, but they had that community septic system up there. That was, been a nightmare for those owners.
Yeah, so this would put density that looks like that with nothing
Yeah.
to support it.
Yeah.
But it is encouraging growth around the town.
Right.
I don't know, has the county ever, they don't run sewer out there now, do they? Carla, do you know?
Well, I mean, that development's on a community.
It's on
Yeah, but
community.
it's a
Yeah.
But even
boondoggle.
if it was developed, though, they would have to come up with a solution for the,
Well, they could subdivide, and how big is this parcel, parcel 8, Carla?
79 acres.
So they have plenty of room
community residential.
create
How many, is it
septic.
1 acre?
One-to-one.
1-to-one.
It's 1-to-1?
They'll never get one, except per, on seven, many lots.
It
Yeah.
won't perk,
Yeah, but they could do 2, 3, 4 acre parcels. I mean,
right,
they could
which
go-
would be plenty to support septic,
And it still would have to be approved, so it wouldn't make any,
correct. So why turn them down? I mean, it is contiguous with, and it's on a main road.
I'll entertain, just entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we send a positive recommendation to the commissioners for the Richard and Dennis Walters 12750 Ireland Corners Road, map 15, parcel 8, for their request to make it a CR area.
We have a motion, a second.
Second,
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
aye.
And I'll oppose that one.
Me as well, I'll say no.
So it's, for the record, it's aye for James, Sean, Paul, and Paula, and no from Bill and myself.
The next one, from Mr. Weisenfels, page 115. His request is rural residential, however, his property is already critical area residential, and there's really not much we can do to change that.
Right.
So we need to,
Send an unfavorable
I make a motion that we send an unfavorable recommendation to the county commissioners for the zoning change for Thomas Weissenfels, located at 14320 Roberts Drive, indicated as parcel 83 on map 8.
second,
Second,
any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
All right.
aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next one is another one that we didn't really understand what they were requesting, and we did not hear anything more from them. So on their form, they're currently zoned community residential, and under what zoning district would you prefer, they typed in Millington, Maryland, Kent County.
So should we assume no change?
I think that's what we have to, but we were trying,
Yeah.
anybody who submitted, we were bringing forward to you.
Do you want to make a motion on this one since they're not requesting a change? I'll just send that, I
Well,
make
If
a
you want to
mo-
Do
assume
that
that it's no
blanket
change,
thing.
we can.
I make a motion that we send a recommendation to the county commissioners to leave the zoning as is on the lands of William and Virginia Wilson located at 10645 Chesterville Forest Road, indicated as parcel 21 on map 31.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Sorry, I didn't catch this. Paula, you're the second?
Yes.
Trying to do all things, so.
121.
Yeah.
Okay, what,
Did you vote?
yeah, they
Yeah.
voted, they were all in favor. This is another one that staff was putting forward based on conversations we've had over the last couple of years with various representatives of the country club. And we can either, you can discuss that now, or defer it. The point was that the area on the riverside of the property where they do have kind of the boats and the boat storage and the parking is really a more marine use, and maybe it should be zoned marine, which would allow it to become an intense development area and better suited to the use that it's currently put to.
Is that what they want?
That is what they want.
Well, it's been
Yeah.
used that way
I think
forever.
Might as well bring them into
Might as well bring them
conformity.
into compliance.
Yep, go ahead.
So shall we have a favorable motion for the Chester River Yacht and Country Club's property on the riverside? I don't know what lot it is, to change the zoning from critical area residential to marine.
It's parcel 15 still, I guess. But,
Is it
yeah,
15?
I guess it's
Okay.
part, it's going to be a split.
I'll
It's already
I'll
split.
second.
It's already split zone.
Yeah. Any discussion?
Then we have, thank you.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, so we are, on page 122. This property has changed hands, but in 2020, the owner requested that it be rezoned to employment center. I don't know how we reached out to this property owner.
This is on the south side of Massey.
Massey, yeah.
Yes, yep,
Now, we're talking about parcel 12 only, not parcel 7.
we are talking about parcel
Correct.
12 only, yes. And again, that straight line just followed the grid lines on the tax maps.
So the parcel is significantly larger, the portion in question, but it's changed hands. The people that made the request don't own the ground now. Quite frankly, I can't speak for them, I don't know. They just built a house on it. I'm pretty sure they could really care less if it's employment center ground. Their house sits right there on the
Yeah,
edge of this
right.
employment center ground. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna have it built around there, so I'm not,
They
I
actually
feel like it's-
subdivided the lot for the house.
yeah, it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of irrelevant now, and
You
I
want to
would,
make an unfavorable?
yes, unfavorable recommendation. It's not even the same owners.
Okay,
There,
with
there is no request as far as I can tell. 'cause
map
it's-
24, parcel 12. A second of that?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor of an unfavorable recommendation, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I'm going to abstain on this one.
Okay, we have an abstention and a separate take from Paul.
Page 124 was something that staff had put forward, we're deferring that for the moment.
You want to make your motion of all our consent ones now? You can,
Yeah, I make a motion that all of the consent of leaving the zoning the same be forwarded with a positive recommendation.
And
If
reference.
If Carla would read the properties,
I'm going,
so we know what ones we're talking about.
I can give you the map page number. So you want map page number and the back properties. Just to keep things moving. and
why don't we can make this motion the next time
Yeah,
with a list.
yeah, that's fine.
Just give it,
Yeah, just
so you don't, I mean, it's,
Yep.
the packet, like Paul said, was great, but it's a lot of stuff.
Like, I can read off the map page
Yeah,
numbers,
but
but I don't have all of
So
them.
let's get the
So,
proper information.
Paul,
We'll just
No,
get a
I'll
list
pull-
for next
I'll pull my
meeting.
motion back.
thank you.
Okay,
No, that would be better. I would prefer that we know what we're talking about. It's always helpful.
Thank you for flexing with our unusual situation.
And 124 is the last thing on our list?
we're not dealing with that one right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Deferred until the second.
correct.
So we are done.
We are done with this grouping of individual requests. And we have a few more to bring you on May 2nd. And we hope to have the list of sort of other things that we have noticed over the last 20 years where parcels have changed. We've ended up with some odd split zonings or other things happen that we will bring some requests to you for things to clean up.
Is May 2nd our regular meeting?
It is the regular meeting.
And at the moment, you only have one other item on the agenda.
Good. We have any general discussion or staff reports of other items that needed?
I do not have anything for this evening. I did, and Carl pointed out, I did just want to note that we did close out meeting report on your agenda, just to follow up from last meeting where you had a closed item, just to put that out as sort of on the record for those who only review our agenda, so they understand.
Thank you. Cindy, anything for us, or any other staff? Roy, anything for us? Thank you, birthday. Let's have, anyways, I entertain a motion.
Well, I will tell you all, if you haven't ever seen a railroad built, come on out to
Wow,
Warren.
that's-
It is quite a,
They,
I'll tell you something.
they wake you up.
I don't know. These guys sleep at night, I can guarantee you.
Really?
Good Lord. But it is, it's quite an operation.
Did they address the water problem?
Who knows? I mean, they're spending 1.4 million or something in it out there, so. And, but it's quite a show. I wouldn't want that job.
Yeah, they got a lot of equipment out
I
there.
make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.